Hey, what's up everybody? Prosper here with Watcher Realms. Today we'll be going over the new compensation reward that we've received for all of the bad coding that's been going on for like the last year. And we'll be going over what heroes you should select from the pack and how to make that decision. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so first off, the first thing that I want to cover here is if you are deciding now that you want to quit Watcher Realms because of this situation, I really do hope that you change your mind, but I do understand your frustration. It is perfectly legitimate to be really upset about this. Having to, especially if you spent money in the game, and you have been spending money in the game for a long time, since the beginning, maybe you're a whale or kraken, or you just spend a little bit. Either way, knowing now that your legendary summoning crystals are not as random as they were said to be in the game is something to be pretty upset about. We completely understand that, and it is completely legitimate. Apparently, there is different groups of people that are in the game that when you sign up for your account, it's assigned a certain number, and every week that goes by, you may get a certain kind of summon threshold, or a summon, I want to say more of like a predicted summon record, and that kind of equates to a lot of different things. For some people it was really good. So for some people, within the first 1 to 3 summons of every single week for your legendary summoning crystals, one of those 3 summons will be a legendary. Sometimes it was like 4 and 5 would both be legendaries. For mine, it was always the first from my looking at my summoning records. I was not aware of this while it was happening, but I kind of think back and I remember a lot of my videos when I would start off with my legendary summoning crystals would be like, bam, and just hit a legendary right off the bat, and then be completely dry up until, you know, you hit pity again or something. So I do recall some kind of weird things going on, but the issue is that some people it was 10 summons, some people it was 12, some people it was 15, and it was very consistent across all of these accounts. So if you really got screwed over by this and you decide to quit now, all the power to you. I completely understand. I really hate to see you go. I think you should kind of forgive and forget at this point. You've been playing for a very long time already as it is. I don't think that Moonton intended for that to be there, and even if they did, it might have been from early on, and they thought that the game was not, you know, going to be such a large thing as it is, and this was kind of standard stuff. I can recall back in the Raid Shadow Legends days, you know, when you do dragon runs, this is RNG that you're going to get a summoning crystal or a shard, and you only get so many of those rare shards per month. So that kind of equates to things not being completely RNG, and that's not stated in the game anywhere. We just know exactly what it was from just doing studies like Fastidious has been doing with the community. There was also limits in the, well, what is their shop? We have their shop here. How many of like summoning crystals you could get every single month. And once you hit that threshold, because you'd watch the shop until you hit that threshold, you wouldn't see them anymore. So the randomness that it said it wasn't truly random. Now, I believe that a lot of these games have a limit like this, that once you hit a certain threshold, that's removed and you can no longer obtain those types of things. I am certain with Watcher Realms that when it comes to the gear seeds and stuff like that, it's something pretty similar. A certain point you get to, and all of a sudden it just starts dropping a bunch of ancients for you. And then after like a day or two of like really grinding really hard, all of a sudden you won't see ancients for the rest of the month. I'm almost pretty certain that it has something similar kind of coding going on when it comes to that. There's a limit to how much luck they're going to allow you to have. This isn't just a Watcher Realms thing. This is like every gacha game, every mobile game that I've ever seen as far as the exact same summons go. I'm not a big fan of that one because people buy that stuff and it's much more controversial to be doing that. But anyways, let's move on. If you decide to quit, I'm sorry to see you go. I wish you would stay. Forgive Moonton for their, let's say, ignorance early on in their coding, because that's what I think it is. It was just ignorance and early stages of coding that they were trying to set up and completely forgot about, or just didn't really think about it going forward. But if you did decide to stick around, you do get yourself a pretty hefty reward, and it's very nice, and I understand if it's not enough for some of you, but it is very nice. Regarding issues with summoning, they sent a little thing out here in the mail. We sincerely apologize for any disappointment this may have caused and pledge to redouble our efforts to ensure the highest quality experience for you all. We promise to maintain the utmost vigilance in addressing every detail to prevent any similar issues in the future. I'm not certain if that's going to be true. I wish that there's a lot of coding that they just won't reveal. You know, from their damage formula to for enemies' actual defenses and statistics that are actually on there. How much health do they have? How much defense do they have? What's their attack actually at? Instead of showing us those actual bars, we request to see those things and pretty much denied immediately unless we kind of dig that out of the code ourselves. We can't see it. So I hope that maybe not just with summons, but with everything else, they start to be a little bit more open about everything. I think it's not a bad thing for the game if we know these things, okay? But anyways, as a token of our sincerity and apology, we would like to offer all commanders the following compensation. Rare Summoning Crystal times 60. Holy cow, that's a lot. That's a $60 value right there. Legendary Summoning Crystal times 10. I believe 60 to 100 bucks right there, or something like that. Prime Legendary Pick times 1. Pick one from all lords, from Invocation of Spirits, and some legendary heroes. That's right here. We're going to go over that in a minute. And the Ultimate Hero Pact times 1. Delivery in-game mail. And reflecting on our unforgettable 16-month journey since launch, we're filled with warmth for every challenge overcome and every warmful moment shared. This journey has been one of mutual growth and progress. Your unwavering support and companionship have been the wind in our sails, propelling us forward every step of the way. Sounds like they hired somebody to make this sound really good. Our passion for creating a fair, stable, and truly enjoyable gaming environment on Tire remains stronger than ever. We're honored to continue this journey with you, our cherished commanders. Thank you for the depths of our hearts, for your understanding and support. We wish all commanders a happy Thanksgiving. We're truly grateful to have you by our side. Now, I do think that they do feel bad about this. I do believe them when they say, you know, they're apologizing and they're saying sorry, and it kind of shows in these rewards. They know that it's a very serious thing, and they know that a lot of players are probably going to exit. You know, they do know that this probably still isn't enough, but there's only so far they can go as far as the reward system goes, or just giving us something like this. But I'm going to continue playing, of course, and I'm not really a big advocate of like being super mad at Moonton and just rage quitting and being out. The game is fun. It's a good game. They've been working really hard on it, and I do understand that mistakes are made at times, so hope you guys can too. What are we getting? We're getting those 60 summoning crystals. We got the 10 legendary summoning crystals. We have the 1 ultimate hero pact, which is just going to be a random legendary from this list, and it could be anything, which is quite a few heroes here. But we also have this crazy prime legendary pick here. Pick one hero from the following. Now there's legendary lords here, and there's also legendary heroes, and they're all very good. Now, I'm not going to bounce around from screen to screen to tell you which one you should pick. I'm just going to start with a list, and there's going to be other reasons why I would prioritize those. But right now, specifically from a game-changing aspect, I think that Elowen, if you don't have Elowen, she should be your number one pick here. I know that there's lords in here, but if you want to look at a rarity aspect, then you would probably want to pick a lord that you don't have, or one that you don't have and will be most valuable to you. But we're going to start right here with Elowen. And from Elowen, I'm going to go right up to Araka. If you don't have Araka or Yovar or Piercer faction, she's going to be a great pick for you. Now, she's not the rarest, but like I said, as far as like game-changing environment goes, Araka's going to be up there. Morgan, Venoma, Twin Fiend, and King Hars are all not really on the top of the list for me as far as like a progressing kind of thing, and I don't think they should be for you either. There is an argument to be made for Twin Fiend. He is a good lord, but until he's awakened level 1, Tyros can do what he's doing just fine. It's not going to be very game-changing for you if he's just awakened 0. But it would be nice to have if you don't have. It's up to you in the end. But from there, I'm going to go with Torador. Torador is going to be game-changing because of all of the Nightmare faction units that really benefit from him. He is a super decent unit. He puts down decreased defense. He's going to make the rest of your faction have a chance to hit more often, and they just have like a chance to initiate the basic attack. Again, it's like by 35% or 40%, something like that. It's crazy. And now From there, so we got Eloin, Araka, Torador, Twin Fiend. That is my top 4 right now that I would say that you should pick. Now going from there, there's a lot of different things that you could be looking at here. We do have Ajax in here, who's really rare. He's pretty rare to get. He's very useful for Arena. He's very useful in Grade 1, but I definitely would not choose that. Just hopefully you get lucky in a summon someday. If you are struggling in faction trials, a lot of the other faction trials, and you're early on, maybe he's a really good pick for you. I don't know. But we have Silas, Fiorna, Hex, Eloin, Twyla, Boreas, and Magda. Magda's out. Boreas is, I think he's out. And as far as this list goes, you should have a different pick besides Boreas. Twyla, Silas, Fiorna, and Hex. So what it's going to kind of dwindle down to, if you were going down to the normal legendary units. And I believe if you have a Silas, you don't have a Fiorna, you should go ahead and grab the Fiorna. You're going to unlock his bond skill. His damage is going to go through the roof. And it's going to be game changing for you almost immediately. If you are the opposite, you should do the opposite. You should pick the other one to unlock that bond skill. So unlocking this bond is going to be our next priority here. Now there's the debate between Hex and Twyla in the end. Should Hex be your priority pick, or should it be Twyla? I would argue if your Hex is A2 and you want to get that Awaken 3 unlocked to help you with Guild Boss 1, maybe you're struggling in that kind of zone a bit, I would go ahead and pick the Hex. Hex is a remarkable unit. I actually, in my opinion, he's the best marksman in the game. I know that Silas is a really good marksman, but really in a lot of the content that really matters, Hex is going to outdo Silas every day of the week. Especially, it really depends on the awakenings, but he will outdo him. Now with Twyla, when should we pick Twyla? Well, first off, if you didn't get her, you should probably pick her up. At a Awaken 0, my Twyla on my account has replaced my A1 Arrogance. And my Twyla on my account is beating Silas at A2 with really good gear and a bond unlocked. And it doesn't really matter what lord he's under. Twyla is outdoing that. She can kind of put out like 165 million damage on Guild Boss 1. And when it comes to Guild Boss 2, the reason I say Twyla is a really good pick is when you take her into Guild Boss 2, let's say you don't have a Geary, you don't have a Lucius, her and Alistair can kind of just plow right through those Aegis shields later on in later phases. And it's going to be game changing for you. I can promise you that. Her damage is through the roof. Guild Boss 1, she kind of falls into like 4th place or something like that. And she will top off in Guild Boss 1 at 200 million when she has like full awakening. So, or somewhere around that range. It's going to be 200-ish, which is really good. But that is what I have for as far as advice for what you're picking. And you probably picked already in seeing this. Now here's the other question. Which one am I going to pick? And so I do want to say I have King Hars, I have Torador, I have Venoma. What I don't have is Leia, Morgan, and Twin Fiend. Now I do have a Hex A4, I have a Silas A2, Fiorna I don't really care about. I do have an Ajax, I have an Eloin A3 or A4 I think already. I do have Twyla, she's Awakened 0, I'm happy with it. Boreas I have, and Magda I don't really want. There's nothing wrong with Magda, I just don't want her. I don't think she's very necessary for most accounts. And she's definitely not necessary for mine. That's not to put her down or anything. She's a good unit. Now, I'm definitely more of on the collector aspect. I'm not just for game changing at this point. I've already beaten pretty much everything. So at this point, I'm just trying to find those rare heroes that I can't or have been having problems struggling to get. And for that reason, I am going to go ahead and pick Leia. I can put her in my hero assist pool. I can use her on Guild Boss 1 if I try to push numbers. I've seen some really good comps on Guild Boss 2. Maybe she can kind of play a role in there. There's a really good chance that she's going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and put her in my Guild Boss 2 team, and it could be really helpful. The only other one that was kind of questionable to me was Twin Fiend. I don't have any interest in locking A5 Hex. I could get lucky pulling it or get a Soul Stone and get that finished off at some point. But I probably would just wait until, you know, luck kind of comes on. But for Twin Fiend, I just don't have an Infernal Lord, and that's the other one that was debatable for me. I do run Pyros, and I don't personally see a good reason for me to need Twin Fiend, so that's why I'm going with Leia. Let's go ahead and collect this. Let's see what I get from the random legendary, and I'll pick Leia for my pick. Claim. It's a 9. Okay, so here's the thing about Anai. I don't hate this pull. I really don't. But it's not something that people would be mostly excited about. But I do like to push the on-game content. She's super useful in certain things. So I'll explain in just a moment here. Let's find her quick. I'm definitely gonna keep it. I'm definitely gonna wake her up to Awaken level 2. Because I find her really useful in the Arbiter of Frost boss. And I do struggle with that a little bit on the Arbiter of Frost because my Anai is Awakened 1. And that's decent, but I really want to push the higher numbers. I like at least try to get in like that top 1% or so, if I can. And the Arbiter of Frost boss is extremely difficult, and Anai is a monster there. You get her fully awakened up, her and Zilla2 just go wild on that boss, which is another reason why Twin Fiend would be a good pull. But anyways, let's go ahead and waken her up, and I'll move on to picking Leia and moving forward. I almost put my soul stone in there. That would have been bad. Alright. Awaken 2 and you've joined the team. I'm happy with it. I'll take it. Now we need to go into our storage, I believe. Find the prime legendary pick. I'm going to hit use. And we are going to pull in the girl, Leia. They kind of look cool, like showing this like little list here, don't they? Yeah, it's definitely Leia for me. Ajax would be a cool one to have too. You can just up him up for whatever arena and stuff you want to use him for, but I think Leia is going to be the most useful for me. So we're going with Leia. There's going to be a little cutscene. I do plan to use her on Guild Boss 1. I'll try to cycle in Laurel from a friend assist to try to push those numbers as high as I can. There is also Guild Boss 2. Like I said, she's been used in the Guild Boss 2 teams quite extensively. And she's a good unit. I mean, she's a decent unit. She increases damage for all the units that are out there and within her range. And it's just a cool unit to have. But anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember to join the Discord if you have any questions or comments. You could also leave them down in the comment section here on YouTube. We also have hero guides, stage guides, price guides, artifact guides, gear cleanse guides, exclusive gear guides, takeovers. This is all right on there on the Discord for you to see at any time you want for absolutely free. And the link is always down in the description below. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep digging.